Good morning. How is everyone? Could you be more excited to be here? All right. Awesome. I'm Phil Klissa with the Wisconsin Board for People with Developmental Disabilities, and I'm happy to invite you to join us at this conference today and tomorrow for the 16th Self-Determination Conference. Yay! It's great to see so many new people, and it's great to see some old friends as well. So welcome here. We have lots of things in store for you today and tomorrow. I have a few housekeeping announcements. So before we get started, the first thing is you'll see on the tables, you have a little table tent that has a QR code on it. If you want to look at any of the online materials for the sessions, get up-to-date information. There's been a few little changes to the schedule that'll be all updated online. So you can just take your camera and point to this QR code and it'll take you to the link where you can get all the materials and everything you need to know about the conference. There is a quiet room available to anybody that would like to use it. It's right around the corner when you leave this ballroom on your left. It's called the Africa 10 registration booth, and you're welcome to use it. Leave the door open when it's not in use, but you're welcome to close the door if you'd like to use it. There are lots of exhibitors here today. We have a record number of exhibitors, yay. And they are scattered throughout the hallway, all the way in front of these Africa East and West, and then all the way down the hallway by Africa 50 and 80. So please make sure you make your way all the way down there and say hello to those exhibitors as well. If you are interested in continuing education credits at the by the door or back of every room that is offering CEUs, there's a little QR code again, and the presenters or the moderators will give you the code for that particular session. Every session has a different passcode, and for this general session, it is posted right by the doors over here, so you can use your camera again, get the QR code, get to the link, and then put in the password, which is noted because this is the general session. It's noted on there already. All right, I do have one cancellation on session 10. Unfortunately, Mira will not be here. She was our ventriloquist, but instead we have Susan Borey opening up the YouTube channel, the Self-Determination YouTube channel. So she'll be showing lots of new videos from there. And then we have this year, we always have something different, right? So we have our Curiosity Corner, which will happen during the breaks. And it'll be directly across from the registration tables in the Maji Lounge. And the first one this morning after the keynote, there will be several Ho-Chunk tribal members here sharing their Native American dance, drumming, and basketry. So please enjoy that as well. So we also have, if you were here last night at the kickoff, if you haven't turned in your stamped card to get a voucher, please do that today. And we also want to remind you that we have a bingo game going on. So if you want to participate in this, there's a special prize if you fill this out completely. And that's sponsored by the managed care organizations. So make sure you put your name on it so that they can do that drawing. And then also make sure that you fill out your feedback forms. We have feedback forms in the sessions, and we really want your feedback on how things went. And then ultimately at the end of tomorrow, we'd like you to turn in the blue feedback form that you have in your packets. That's a lot of stuff, isn't it? Well, and that just goes to show that this conference cannot happen without a lot of people working on it. So I just want to take the time to thank some people. And if you're here, raise your hand, stand up, shout, do whatever, because I really want to make sure that people know how much we all appreciate the work that everybody has put in to make this conference successful. So I want to thank our planning committee. If there's people from the planning committee here, raise your hand, shout out. Promote local, yay. Promote local, Michelle Roach and her team, because they do a fabulous job. Michelle works with me all year long. That makes her a saint. But anyways, the tech folks from DHS, the sign language interpreters, our Spanish interpreters here. We have Dan Poe, who's our videographer. So hopefully you've he's captured you on camera. Our exhibitors, and of course our sponsors who help support all the many scholarships that we are able to provide. And then of course you, because you are the ones that make this conference such a success. And we're very happy to have you here year after year. So, okay, well, without further ado, because we have a busy schedule, I would like to introduce someone from the PPDD team, Beth Swadine. She's our team leader, and she's going to say a few words and welcome you to the conference as well. So enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you at lunchtime.
Good morning, everybody. Who's ready for a great conference? All right. Phil said, first of all, I do want to very much thank our own Phil Klissa with BPDD, who is the mastermind of this conference and always makes it special and new every year. And then I also want to thank our fantastic board who are appointed by the governor. So if you are a board member with BPDD, please raise your hand high. We appreciate all of you. You are fantastic. And of course, BPDD has the best staff in the entire world. So a big hand for the BPDD staff as well. And I want to remind you that the Board for People with Developmental Disabilities does have a table in the back. If you've ever participated in Partners in Policymaking or the Youth Leadership Forum or supported decision making, or you're an ambassador or a peer mentor with Living Well, those are all projects of the board, and we'd love to have you participate in them. You can learn more back in the corner during the breaks. And now it's very much my honor to welcome Big Bear Kenneth Funmaker Jr., who's a proud member of the Ho-Chunk and Meskwaki Nations. Ken is also a member of the Bear Clan, whose duties include overseeing matters pertaining to the earth. Therefore, it's most culturally appropriate that a Bear Clan member offer the following land acknowledgement. Welcome so much, Ken.
IEP. In my language, that means good morning to everybody here. I know we're here to kind of gather and help our loved ones, and that's why me and my family are here today, and I'm glad everybody could be here and be in one direction today. Thank you. And then I want to get to this land acknowledgement. This phrase I'm going to say is it means hello in my language. You probably heard it on TV. If you watch Reservation Dogs, the lead actor always kind of he says aho. That means hello in the Ho-Chunk Nation language, and every time he says that, we kind of the Ho Chunk people really get a really good vibe because he's saying our language on TV, so that and millions of people, they always know that when we say that. So when we say that word, that means hello. So you can say that to your neighbor. You can practice that this morning. Say aho. That means hello. Okay. I'll get started with this. Okay. As I said before, my name is Ken Funmaker. Hunchkate. That means big bear in Ho-Chunk Nation language and the Bear Clan. And I'm from Nizachi here. It's Wisconsin Dells, and been here for many years, and proud to represent the area and Wisconsin wherever I go. So I want to acknowledge the Ho-Chunk people who have stewarded this land throughout the generations. We have gathered here today in Nizachi, which means village by the water. The Ho-Chunk Nation had 10 million acres that were recognized by treaty. The Ho-Chunk people were repeatedly removed from Wisconsin from 1832 to 1874, but we kept coming back to our homeland, and we're still here. I would like to say in closing that we're all here for a purpose: to help our loved ones and to include the many communities represented here at this conference. Thank you for listening. Piri Gigi. I thought we're going to do one kind of customary thing that we always do when in our events. I'd like to call it my son, Cody. He's a senior at Edgewood College, and he's involved with Cutting Edge. So I'd like to give a shout out to Cutting Edge. They're an awesome crew. This brief song we're going to sing, it's our flag song, and we always kind of recognize our veterans of any that served underneath our flag. And like I said, the Ho-Chunk people, we have done it. I'm a Air Force veteran, so I know the commitment that it takes. So we'll do this quick song here. And if you want, it's like our national anthem. That's what it is. So if you want to stand, that's cool. We was a John of the water, We was a gonna have the water when I Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Hi, everyone. How are you doing today? Are you all excited for the conference? Hi, I'm Ashley, and I have a lot of energy, as you can all see. I am the board chair for the Wisconsin Board for People with Developmental Disabilities, and I also have a inclusive clothing wear called the Lilac Room, which you can go to back there. I am excited to introduce our first keynote of the conference, which has as much energy as me. So I'm so excited to introduce this keynote. Brian Kenny. Brian Kenny lives in Wisconsin Dells and is a passionate educator who has a strong advocate for people with disabilities to have inclusive opportunities in their communities. Brian recently retired from the education field to further pursue one of his other passions, which is facilitating team building workshops for youth and adults. Brian is the owner of Team Extreme LLC, and he travels all over Wisconsin and other states, helping various teams get stronger by increasing human connections and communication skills. With him is Alex Olson. Alex graduated high school in 2012. He remained connected with Edgerton School District throughout their transition program, and since 2013 has worked at Culver's in Newsville, Wisconsin. He is a valued and respected member of the Culver's family. Alex rarely, if ever, misses a day at work. Isn't that amazing, everyone, that a person with a disability could work, takes his job's responsibility seriously, and is a respected member of the team. Alex lives in Janesville, Wisconsin with his mom. Let's give them a round of applause, everybody.
Okay, good morning. Can you hear me? Okay, I'm pretty loud, so I'm super excited to be here. I've been a passionate educator for 25 years. My whole life career revolves around supporting individuals with disabilities, and I couldn't think of anybody better than to be here with Alex. And I'm going to transition to Alex in a little bit, but I just wanted to make sure that we acknowledge that Alex has a meaningful life in his community in Edgerton. I met Alex through a community conversation where we just get together and we talk about why we need more employment opportunities for individuals with disabilities in their community. And I was so inspired by Alex. When I got asked to keynote this, I couldn't think of anybody better than I'm the sidecar, he's the motorcycle. So when we get a chance to talk to Alex, we're going to be doing another session later. So there probably won't be time for questions, but we would love it if you would come to our session and write down some things on a piece of paper. I believe most of the tables have notepads, and write down some things that you want to ask Alex. Alex's brother will be there. Alex's mom will be there. And his teacher from high school is actually here also. So she'll also be there. And that's a great time. You can't have a conference about curiosity if I ask you to ask questions and there's no questions. That's an absence of curiosity. So please write down some things. I'm going to ask Alex to take a seat so that he can get himself comfortable. So Alex, you're going to sit right here. And I'm going to get started with my part of the presentation. So I run a team building business. I retired from education. That takes a huge act of courage. Speaking about courage, it's a subject that I'm extremely passionate about. And you can't retire from something and start up something else without courage. I could fail. I could struggle. I could have an injury that prevents me from being able to drive to go do team building workshops. I don't think about those things. The movie Maverick, he's an instructor pilot, Tom Cruise. And one of the younger pilots, he says, don't think, just do. I think that's so important to be a doer and to not look at our flaws. When I look at someone with a disability, I look at removing the dis and just focusing on the ability. I'm going to share a story with you that is called the crack pot. I can't stand up here the whole time. I have to come down here. So our camera guy is going to be following me around here all day. So there's a young boy who lives in a village, and every day his job is to carry water across his shoulders. He has 2 pots. So just envision that I had a piece of wood across my shoulder, and there were 2 pots, one on each end. And every day he goes and gets his water, and he brings it to the village, and he's very knowledgeable that one of the pots is cracked. He knows it. He's too afraid to say anything about it, so he just goes about his daily job, and he feels deficient, void, not enough. I'm flawed. I'm not doing my job. And he has this in his mind. There's an absence of courage to tell people and ask questions. Am I enough? Why is my pot cracked? He just keeps doing this day after day. And his confidence gets zapped because he thinks people are judging him behind the scenes. And finally, after several months of doing this, he finally just gets up enough nerve to ask one of the village elders, you know, why are you not angry with me? Why do you never say anything about me only bringing half my water? Because by the time he gets to the village, the water's gone. He's doing half his job. And the village elder says, turn around and walk back on the trail. And on one side of the trail are a bunch of wilted flowers that look like they really need water. And on the other side are a bunch of thriving flowers. And it just hit him like a brick. Wow. Never thought about that. Before we judge people, we need to stop and think. I'm 51 years old. I'm better than I was when I was 20. There was a huge void in empathy in my 20-year-old self. Same when I was 30. Didn't cross my radar. Still apathetic. Still had some bias, probably a lot. A lot of privilege. Growing up where I grew up, in the household I grew up as a Catholic and went to Catholic schools my whole life. And I start working at the state level for the Transition Improvement Grant, and I start getting exposed to a whole bunch of new ideas about judgment and bias. And you're kind of forced to be curious or to minimize your curiosity. I chose to be curious. And because of that, I'm better. I'm way better now. And I also know that I'm a cracked pot. All of us are. Everybody in this room has deficiencies and barriers. And courage is a huge catalyst for change and improvement. One of the things that I'm going to do, and when I told Phil that I wanted to do a team building activity at a massive conference, she thought I was a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Okay, but I got her to believe that we could do a team building activity at a big, massive workshop. So on your tables are some yellow discs, and they're in English on one side and Espanol on the other side. So we did this so we could all have good conversations. If you have any concerns about being mobile in this room, no problem. You can converse with people that are your neighbors. If you want to venture away from people that you might be sitting with that you know really well, you can venture to other areas of this room. And the beauty of this activity is there's always going to be somebody to talk to. You'll be able to find people that don't have anyone to talk to. So I'm gonna just put someone on the spot because this is a conference where we're talking about courage. So you knew it was going to be you. Okay, so I have a question. I'm modeling this activity, and then I'm going to turn you loose in this giant room. Okay, so who is the most famous person that you have ever met? Oh, you can't say me. Okay, so apparently she thinks I'm famous, and I'm going to take her compliment and say thank you. Okay, now you would ask me your question. This is important that we have dialogue. Oh, my family, all of them, right? My kids, my family, everybody in my family. And the most important thing in this activity is the trade. You have to trade so that you don't repeat the same question over and over again. You got to be curious about other questions. So you just have a good conversation with another person in this room, and then you trade, say thank you, and then go talk to someone else. And we're going to do this for about 5 minutes. So in 5 minutes, you should be able to talk to at least 4 to 6 people. Okay? So everybody understands there should be questions on everybody's table. On your mark, get set, go. You guys start talking over here. Yep. You guys are good. Okay, I hear people. That's awesome. Good. How are you? One thing to note, if there's any language barriers, you can always ask for the help of an interpreter. There's several interpreters. Yeah. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Team Rocket blast off the speed of light. All of us. Of the speed of light. Surrender now or prepare to fight all of us. It was Team Rocket. Team Rocket last time. Okay, try to talk to at least finish up the conversation you're having now and then talk to one more person.
All right. All right, then. Of course I am. Okay, to fight all of us. It's fine.
Okay, just for time purposes, we're gonna have to try to wrap up. People just, everyone's so excited. This is awesome. Okay, I'm gonna bring everybody back. If I could just let you go. So if there's other people who have loud voices that can help me, we got to wrangle everyone back. They're all so excited. Shannon, you got a loud voice. I don't have a good whistle. Okay. I'm just letting everyone just kind of wrap up, and I'm just gonna keep going. I don't know if anybody's seen this before, but people fall into one of three categories in general. We have three things up on the screen. There's a carrot, an egg, and coffee. And each of those describes how we respond to certain situations. When you're faced with a situation and you're a carrot, I want you to think about a boiling pot of water right in front of me. If I put a carrot in boiling water, it's going to get mushy. It's going to get changed by the water. Sometimes this happens to us as people. When we're faced with situations that we might think are awkward or we're indifferent to them, we get kind of mushy. Maybe we get defensive, our biases kick in, and there's just an absence of courage. On the opposite side, when you drop an egg in hot water, instead of getting soft, it gets hard. It hardens up. Oftentimes, people who behave like eggs, they blame, complain, and sometimes act defensiveless. We call that VCD. The magic happens with coffee. I don't know about some of you, but I can't start my day without coffee. Okay, I see a lot of people drinking coffee. When you put coffee in hot water, it doesn't allow the water to influence it. It's the other way around. The coffee influences the water. People who are coffee beans make change. My circle is very small, a lot smaller than it was when I was 20. The people that are in my circle are coffee beans because I know that they're going to be courageous people and they're not going to be judgmental, because you can't be that magic and be a carrot that gets mushy and be like the egg that hardens up. So the magic happens with coffee. I have a thing in my pocket called an energy stick, and I'm going to use my good friends that I met yesterday from Project Search at Gunderson Hospital in La Crosse. They're amazing young people. There's 8 of them, and it just so happens that they're a very equitably balanced group. There's 4 boys and 4 girls in their class, and they have some great adult role models, and they're thriving right now in their internship rotations, and the staff are working really hard to make sure that there's a lot of energy. Energy creates more energy. So I want you to pay attention to what I'm going to do with them. I'm going to have you guys stand up and hold hands. When I put this in their hands, if you listen really loud or really with your ears really closely, you're going to hear it make noise, even from far away, and you're going to see it light up. So I'm going to put it between 2 of them, and as soon as one of them lets go, so Jake lets go, it stops working. The energy stick will not work when one person's a disruptor of the energy. When one person's judgmental and lacks curiosity, it can be very infectious, almost toxic, like a bad virus. And as soon as Jake joins up with Abby, the stick goes again. I'm going to show you something else pretty cool. The stick doesn't like cell phones. If I put a cell phone in here as a barrier, it won't work. It doesn't care about this. It thrives on human connection. If I take the cell phone away, the stick goes. This thing's amazing. The energy stick even works on yourself. So if you don't think you're present, you are. We all need to get better. That's the whole power behind the energy stick, is when there's an absence of energy, you're just going to be stagnant. You're just going to be lost in the sauce, right? We can't be there. Excuses create abuses. I say this all the time. What we permit, we promote, and excuses create abuses. If we keep making excuses for why we don't think people with disabilities can do something or hold a job in the community, absolutely they can. I've seen it happen at this place. When I was a teacher, we had kids working at this resort. Todd Nelson, the owner of Kalahari, is one of the most amazing people I've ever met. He just donated a whole bunch of money to our school district to build an auditorium. He donated land for a high school. He's donating more land for an elementary and a middle school and a pool. He creates opportunities because he's a courageous person, and he doesn't judge kids. We had a machine here, and now they have Project Search here, and they have it at Sandusky. It's amazing. I'm going to talk more about this equation in my session. This is a game changer. E plus R equals O. If you don't know this, you need to be familiar with this, because E stands for event, R stands for response, and the O is the outcome. You can't change the O and you can't change the E. We spend way too much time there. We need to change the response. And it's added to the event. So events come across your radar screen all the time. Traumatic ones, happy and joyful ones, confusing ones, ones that make you angry. And the R is so important. When you're courageous, and you minimize judgment, your R will probably be good. I have a little wristband that I snap when I know I'm going to have a messed up R. Boop. I just snap myself and it stops me dead in my tracks. This works really well, but it takes time. Just like anything, it's an investment. The power behind curiosity is unbelievable. Because we spent so much time letting you guys just talk, which I think was amazing, I'm not going to show this video. Instead, I'm going to show it in my individual session. It's the Ted Lasso video. If any of you are Ted Lasso fans, about two triple 20s and a bullseye. Ted Lasso is a great dart player in this episode, and he's being judged as somebody who's not good at darts. And he tells his story while he hammers out 2 triple 20s and nails a bullseye. And he's very humble about it. It's a great episode. I'll show the video later. But I want to get to the most important part, which is this young man. Alex Olson is a catalyst for courage. Now I'm going to become the facilitator. I had 4 questions that I wanted to ask Alex. And I'm going to ask him those questions, and Alex is going to give you his answers. And this is his journey to courage and being a difference maker in the community of Edgerton. Alex is a human energy stick. So I'm super excited to be able to ask Alex some questions. Alex, can you just test your mic out?
Yeah. Hey there.
It works.
How are you? It's great to be here.
He's amazing. He didn't even say much and he's already amazing. Okay, Alex, I'm super excited to partner with you. I don't know if you remember back when Georgia Paulson, your former teacher, had her event in Edgerton that she has every year to gather parents. I asked you if you would be the motorcycle and I could be your sidecar.
Ha.
That's true, isn't it?
How true.
Yeah, how true. Alex, we have some questions for you. So how do we encourage others to become more curious as a person? And what holds us back? And how do we ignite that curious nature in ourselves and others?
You have to be willing to try something new. I told my mom the other day that I don't like September. September for me was really hard because it meant that I had to go back to school, and school was a scary experience for me. Mostly, I was in elementary school. I didn't understand why I had to go to school, and I did not know how to communicate how I was feeling. For me, I had to get over that fear, and that took a lot. I needed the support of my family and my teachers, and I needed to see that I was going to be okay. I think fear holds a lot of people back from trying new things. No one wants to fail or look silly. It helps a lot when that there are people that walk along beside you and cheering you on. It helps a lot when you can see yourself as successful. Then you want to try something else. The hard part is when something that does not work out the way you want it to. It's easy to give up. That is when it is really good to have cheerleaders. Those people that really care about you.
Alex, do you have some cheerleaders here today?
My mom, my brother, Miss Paulson.
when Alex and I decided to partner, I couldn't help but try to work it out so that Alex's teacher could be here. Georgia's a difference maker. She's retired from Edgerton and she continues to serve that district part-time as a transition coordinator. And that's such an important role in a school district, to have somebody who's connecting kids with DVR and connecting kids with outside agencies, because look at all the vendors that are here. They're all agencies that are just trying to support young people. I always looked at it like a baton exchange in track and field. When you do a relay in track and field, it's going to end with the third runner transitioning to the fourth runner. There is no more baton exchanges. It's over. That is really similar to kids getting ready to exit high school. There has to be some really important transition things that happen with that last baton exchange. And if Georgia wasn't there to make sure that happened, Alex's journey might not have ended up the way it ended up. So I think it's important that we talk about the partnerships that exist and the collaboration piece, which is why I wanted to do that activity where I had you networking with people. So important. Because if you don't know what you don't know, you don't know how to be better. And I think there's something powerful about the sum of experiences. So Alex, the next question I want to ask you is about, talk about the sum of all of your experiences. You've had so many experiences that have allowed you to grow as a person. What experiences have kind of catapulted you to where you are now?
I think every experience, and even the hard ones, it can help you to be better. So again, school was not an easy experience for me, especially when I first started school. It was very hard for me to communicate with other people, and I did not feel safe at school. I just wanted to be home with my mom and my grandpa. If my mom did what have let that happen, I would not be independent today. I know that now. I did not know that then. So I had to go to school, and I had to figure out to let people know that I need a break, or when I was feeling angry or sad. My mom said that this was not a fun time for anyone. I guess I was not very well behaved, but things got better every year, and every year I got to try new things, like being in plays, in musicals, in elementary school, all the way through high school, and also being in forensics in middle school and in high school. I even went to state in forensics when I was in high school, and got 2 gold medals and a silver medal. When I was ready to be done with school and start to work, my first job did not work out for me, but that's okay, because there are other jobs. I got a job at Carver's in Newville, Wisconsin, which happens to be the largest Carver's in the country. And
that's true.
And it is also blue, my favorite color. and I have been working there for 10 years now. So just because one experience did not work out, so something else might. The most important thing for me is that I had a lot of people who were there helping me along the way. I had the best teachers. Seriously, I had the very best teachers. They did not give up on me, even when I was not very kind to them, and they did not let me give up on myself. They helped me to see that I could do anything as long as I wanted to do it, and they expected me to do my best. I feel like I'm a better person because of them.
You are. And I think Alex said something really important about through some of his experiences, he got better. And I mentioned that earlier too, about this is a common thread with all adults. If you don't get better, you're going to be railroaded by the other vowel, bitter. Better is one vowel away from bitter. And you can see bitterness in people's body language. You can read it in whether or not they say good morning or hi, or even if you had a bad experience with somebody, you can still be curious, ask questions, say hello, good morning. Even if they don't respond, that's okay. That's on them, right? We all have choices to make about how we choose to get better. And I love that Alex included that in his summary of his experiences. How did you transition from a place of being comfortable to a place of being uncomfortable? Because that's super important in our journey to curiosity. Is things are uncomfortable at first until they aren't. How did you do that and be a self-determined young man and be a really strong self-advocate in the process?
I still have difficult with communication. I still can get frustrated when things did not go the way that I expect them to go, or when there is a change that is unexpected. Just the other day, I realized when I got home that I did not have my key to unlock the door of my house. In the past, that would have been very hard for me to handle. I still was a little upset. I tried to get in touch with my mom, who did not answer her phone. Then I remembered that I could try to call someone that works with my mom. That worked. My mom's friend was able to help me to get in my house and on my own. And now I know that I can handle a problem and do not need to get upset. We cannot always repair every situation that happens, but we can find people that help us work through challenges. I have wonderful people in my life, besides my family and my former teacher, and now special friend, Mrs. Paulson, who I know loves me. And I also have my Iris case manager, Julie, who checks in with me every month to make sure that I have everything I need. I also have a great boss, Lee, who has made sure that I have what I need at work. If I need anything, he has always been helpful to me, and I know I can rely on him to help me. The people I work with are also great, and I know that I am safe there. The important thing is that I have been honest about what I need and I have needed some help communicating that. But my mom and my mom and Mrs. Paulson have really done most of the talking about what works best for me, because they know me pretty well. If you are honest and tell people ahead of time and make a plan, that works well. That doesn't that does not mean mistakes or problems won't happen, but it may make things less challenging.
You work at Culver's, right?
Right.
Where's my ice cream?
Then bring it.
You're supposed to say Culver's doesn't have ice cream. They have custard.
They have to have custard.
Yeah. Next time I'll have you bring me Culver's ice cream.
Ha.
Custard.
Well, will do.
Yeah. Alex, one more question.
Right.
We can't be at a conference where we're talking with people about being curious and being more courageous. How do we encourage others to become more curious as a person? What advice do you have for this group of awesome people?
I don't think that there's anything wrong with being comfortable with who you are, as long as you are growing you are continuing to live well, grow, and have new experiences. Throughout my school experience, I was overweight. My diet could consist of pizza and my Mountain Dew daily. About 9 years ago, I burned my mouth on pizza and really have not have eaten pizza since. I have not had any Mountain Dew since that time either. Instead, I changed my eating habits and began to exercise. I lost quite a bit of weight and have maintained to detain that. One thing about myself that it is good and can sometimes get me into trouble is that I set goals for myself that are a little bit extremed. I exercise every day, which is great. I love to exercise. However, I continue to push limits, and sometimes those limits are well beyond what would have been concerning normal for most people. For example, my daily step goal right now is 56,000 steps a day. I am often able to make that goal, but by taking a stroll around Janesville.
A stroll?
Yeah. As I have gotten older, I have realized that I can do quite a bit for myself. I live with my mom, but I live a fairly independent life. My mom trusts me to be on my own, care for myself, shop for what I need, and basically to be an adult. When I make a mistake, I learned a lesson. When I have a question, I ask for help. The main thing is that I do not let my mistakes to define who I am. I pick myself up and move on. I try something else or try again, because I am determined to be happy and successful. Thank you.
Wow, that was awesome, Alex. Okay, I'm getting the wrap up signal. I think it's time. I was gonna challenge Alex to an arm wrestle, but I think I'd get beat. I'm curious, but I'm not ridiculously curious. Alex is really fit. I'm super impressed every time I see this young man, and he has an amazing story. Alex, can I get a high five?
Sure.
Nice job. If you're more curious about what I do for team building, it's my passion. It's my career now. I put a QR code on the screen that should bring you to my website. I did give away a free workshop. If you look under your chair or chairs around you, you'll find a business card. There's only one. Whoever finds it, come see me after we're done, and you'll get a free team building workshop. Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you, Brian and Alex. I really appreciate you coming out today. Can we give them another round of applause? Yeah. Awesome. So is everybody looking for that magic ticket, the golden ticket? All right. You can see Brian. Brian and Alex are also doing a breakout session after the break today. But for now, enjoy the exhibitors, the micro exhibitors, and the Native American dancing and drumming that's right across the hallway too. So enjoy the rest of your morning, and we'll see you back here at lunch.